this is Steven. I am calling about your car warranty that you need to renew.
Oh, what does the warranty cover?
It covers your the left side of your car.
Okay, perfect. My uncle Ricky, he just took a massive dump all over it got into the grain of the seat. There's not enough Febreze in the world to get it out. Am I covered? Am I covered on that?
Is it the left side?
Yeah, it is the left side actually. Uncle
Then
Ricky.
you are covered.
Okay, cool. Uncle Ricky, and this has been the Moderately Interesting Podcast.
Play the theme song. All right. It is the Moderately Interesting Podcast.
This is us. Not to be confused with This Is Us, the NBC show. But this is us as in the Moderately Interesting Podcast.
Right.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Mitch. And we have a guest today.
Special guest!
It's my better half.
My wife!
My half orange.
Mm-hmm.
Marissa.
What's up, everybody?
Marissa, how does it feel to be the first guest host of the Moderately Interesting Podcast?
You know, it's just a dream come true. I would like to thank everyone that got me to this point.
We would also very much, particularly Geico.
And
Allegiant Airlines.
As I graciously accept this award.
Geico can't save you 50% or more.
Volkswagen was a recent sponsor too.
Volkswagen, for when you want to have a BMW. We want a German car, but you can't afford a BMW.
When you want fine German engineering.
When you want fine German engineering at American prices.
You can't afford a BMW.
Well, anyways, I'm here to represent some female energy in the house today as we will be discussing Disney's most recent female lead movie.
Sure.
Black Widow. We're talking about Black Widow, folks. Don't leave just because of the... We're talking about Black Widow.
Yeah, it's all good.
And we're also going to be talking about, speaking of Disney-led properties, we're going to be talking female-led properties. We're going to be talking about Loki.
Loki.
Have you guys seen that meme that's like Loki checking out another Loki, checking out another Loki?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have seen that one.
Kind of funny.
It's pretty funny. We need to add more memes to the Instagram.
Yeah, we do.
I imagine our Instagram, frankly, being more filled with memes than it is. And I'm going to blame myself on that one. I dropped the ball on that. So expect more memes. Expect more memes, people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say, Aaron? When you get knocked down...
I get up again.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
You ain't never going to keep me down.
Pissing the night away.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's about drinking.
Oh, cool.
The whole song is about drinking
I don't think I've heard that song since 1998.
Yeah. That's all it's about.
You know what, though? 1998, that was a good year because I learned if you get knocked down, you should absolutely get back up again.
Uh-huh.
And then I also learned that if you want to be her lover, you got to get with her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is eternal advice. So,
yeah, those songs are both filled with a lot of wisdom.
Wisdom beyond their years, I say.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's talk about Black Widow.
Black Widow.
The Blackest Widow.
So you guys saw this movie yesterday?
Yeah, last night.
Yes, last night. I saw it today.
Mm-hmm.
I just got back from seeing it right now.
Nice.
So I want to start with before seeing the movie, what did you guys think? Did you guys think it was gonna be good? Did you guys think it was gonna be mediocre? Because I was hearing a lot of like negative stuff leading up to the release of like, oh yeah, this isn't good. This is like one of Marvel's biggest flops since like the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of what I was going into thinking, like going into the movie. What did you guys go into?
What did you think, Marissa?
Well, I don't really keep up with things, so I hadn't really heard much, and I just thought it was going to be good because I usually like the more character spin-off deep dive movies.
If you want to keep up with more things, though, make sure to stay subscribed to the Moderately Interesting podcast, where
Hashtag subscribe.
we keep you up to date on all the info. Anyways,
And we
continue.
also call out the latest. We call out Elon Musk to become Iron Man on the Moderately Interesting podcast.
Hashtag Elon Musk is Iron Man.
Yeah, which is why you should subscribe.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yeah, so I didn't really have expectations.
Okay.
None whatsoever?
No.
Oh, nice. So for me, first of all, I was very excited to see The Red Guardian because I really like David Harbour, mostly from Stranger Things. That's like probably the only thing I've really seen him in.
Yeah.
And so I was excited to see that. But yeah, I do think as a whole, I was kind of going into it with some negative juju.
Uh-huh.
Not like super negative, but just like I didn't really think it was going to be a flop. I was just kind of like I have a hard time with movies where I know basically what is going to happen, I guess.
Right. The fact that this is a prequel, we know that
we know she's dead.
We know Scarlett Johansson's going to make it out of this movie alive, only to die.
Yes.
Later on.
We know that the main protagonist is not going to die. Her life will not be at stake.
Yes.
No matter how hard they try.
And they tried. We'll get to that in a little bit.
They did.
Freaking tried.
Really
they tried. They tried.
Yeah. But it wasn't convincing enough.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Yeah. I mean, I had heard a lot of negative to mixed things coming out about this movie. And whenever we would put together our episodes, kind of outlining our episodes for the week for the Mildly Interesting podcast, I made a choice. I don't know. It wasn't really vocalized or anything like that, but I made a choice to not include that because I didn't want to give us and I didn't want to perpetuate this negative viewing out there. So we didn't talk a whole lot about Black Widow until it was like, hey, it's coming out soon. But yeah, I definitely felt like there was going to be some, there's articles and links and stuff like that about how like, oh, this movie's not going to be good. Scarlett Johansson was not good in it. Somebody like within the past couple of weeks was saying that like Scarlett Johansson should be embarrassed of this performance. Yeah. Which was one that I originally actually even put into last week's episode, but then I took it out actually because I didn't want to perpetuate that kind of negative, essentially make like an echo chamber of negative emotions. That's not what we're about here. But yeah, I definitely went in there. This is gonna be funny to say, but I definitely went in there with low expectations, like I did when I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy, I had pretty low expectations for that movie.
Right. Guardians of the Galaxy was it was like the first superhero movie that like no one really knew who anybody was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Yeah. And this is kind of the same where it's like we have the Black Widow who we know who she is.
Right.
We've gotten familiar with her, but we don't know anything about her past. I mean, we know a little bit from
Age of Ultron.
Conversation. Yeah. But we don't know, like, we've never met anyone that's associated with her.
Yeah.
Other than Hawkeye, who they apparently did a mission together.
Yeah, apparently.
But nobody from her past has come into the movies yet.
Together. And they remember Budapest very differently. That's kind of one of the few things we know about their relationship.
Budapest.
We'll get to that in a minute. I guess let's go ahead. Let's do like a quick plot overview, I guess, of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So spoiler alert right now, guys, for Black. I was almost going to call it Black Panther. Black Widow.
Brown Recluse.
Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow.
Uh-huh.
I do want to point out. So I want to point out right now, it's funny is the movie starts and we get like the opening credits and it's like Scarlett Johansson, And apparently she was also a producer. I saw when all the credits started,
Hmm.
and they're like, David Harbour, whatever, and then they're like, blah 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 blah, and then they were like, with Olga Kuryalenko, and I was like, Olga Kuryalenko's in this movie. I was like, I haven't seen Olga Kuryalenko since James Bond: Quantum of Solace. Like, been a while. Um,
Who was Olga Karyolenko?
so spoiler alert! Right now, we're officially in spoiler territory, guys. Again, if you have not seen Black Widow, and you want to see it, you don't want to be spoiled, turn off right now and then come back.
Hmm. Do it.
Um, do it. Uh, so um, so yeah, I guess we'll go. I'll just start with this. Yeah, so I saw Olga Kuryalenko, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm super excited. Like I haven't seen Olga. Like I know she's done movies, but like I haven't seen her in like since she was the Bond girl in Quantum of Solace.
Hmm.
And I'm going through the whole movie, and I'm like, where's Olga? Where is she? And then at the very end, when the Taskmaster takes the mask off, and I was like, there's Olga Kuryalenko. I should have known. I'm like, where is she? She's not here. Like,
All right, so
yeah,
she was in James Bond.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, she was in.
She looked familiar, but I couldn't remember what it was from.
Yeah, she's in Quantum of Solace,
Okay,
the second Daniel Craig movie,
the
and
lesser of the
uh,
Daniel Craig
I was
movies.
just gonna say a very underrated Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's fantastic, but that's
I've
just
only
me.
seen it once. I don't really remember it.
Yeah, if you want to watch Quantum of Solace, the only problem with that movie is Quantum of Solace assumes that you just finished Casino Royale.
Right.
Because there are plot details in that movie that carry over to Quantum of Solace, and if you don't remember those, then you're going to be confused in that movie.
That's probably why I don't remember liking it.
Yeah, and I was very lucky because Casino Royale was one of my favorite Bond movies, and I literally watched it right before I went and saw the next movie.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, this is so cool! Like this was like the first like Bond sequel that actually like connects with the other movie.
Right.
Anyways, we're off track now. Let's get back to um,
Black
to
Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah, so I really liked the kind of opening part where we're in Ohio.
That was the best part of the movie.
You think
IMO.
you think so?
Hmm.
Okay,
You thought that was the best part?
you wanna go over
Yeah,
that?
Huh.
Please explain why you thought that
Yeah.
was the best part. I'm love
just
to know
because
why.
I just didn't know what was happening. I
Uh,
guess, and a lot of the rest of the movie was a lot of dialogue, which is cool, but it was just kind of like action packed. You see, um, the characters as younger. I think that's always fun to go
Yeah,
in the backstory versus just, months previous backstory, like go way back.
yeah,
the mystery was nice in that
yeah.
beginning. It
So
was
that
like
yeah.
because you knew David Harbour was the Red Guardian
Mm-hmm.
from the previews,
Mm-hmm.
but you had no idea. I don't think they even said Natasha's name until the very end of that
Yeah, not until the very
scene.
end when they were
They
in
didn't.
Cuba. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're like, I think that's her, but I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Honestly, I thought the Natasha character, the young Natasha, I didn't know that was a girl, honestly, until like halfway through that part where I was like, oh, that is a girl. Like,
Right.
um, but yeah. So I guess real quick, we start off the movie and we have young Natasha, as it turns out, and another girl that we don't know her name for the longest time, and they're appear to be like sisters. They're playing, and then like their mom comes out, and acting very motherly, takes care of the kids. They go back to their house. They start preparing dinner, and then David Harbour walks in,
Hmm.
and that's when you kind of really quickly things change. Um, and I think David Harbour says, "Hey, remember when I said we were going to go on an adventure? Well, today's the day." And yeah, they kind of grab some stuff real quick, get in the car, and they're out. And we kind of figure out real quick that they are actually Russian spies,
Hmm.
and they escape get to like a private little airplane that looks like could be ran by Allegiant Airlines.
Yep. Brought to you by Allegiant
Yeah.
Airlines.
They might have stolen an Allegiant Airlines plane. Allegiant, if you're looking for a lost plane, I know where it is. It's in Cuba.
I'm pretty sure Allegiant took the airplane after the fact.
You think so?
After it had been shot.
After it got shot up, and David Harbour was hanging on the side of its wing.
They're like, oh, we'll take it.
For how much money? Deal. You're just giving me this plane? Awesome.
Maybe they should have taken it. No, they wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, and then they like we said, they fly it to Cuba, and then there's some. That's a weird thing. Is like it was 1995 when the scene takes place.
Yeah,
97,
90 something.
Yeah, 95. Well, which I thought was weird because like the Soviet Union had definitely collapsed by then.
Right.
But anyways, so they get to Cuba and there's some Russians waiting for them, and then that's where we learn that like it's all a lie. Like they're not actually sisters. That's not their parents. They're all just deep undercover.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Not a trap, but just a sham.
It was
sham.
Sham.
Wow.
Facade.
That's what you call a sham. Wow, because that was a big sham right there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Shamrock.
Sham. Wow.
Yeah. So that part of the movie was very exciting and mysterious. I was very intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the time lapse of what it was being like raised as Natasha, as a widow, going through some of that. I kind of wish they would have spent a little more time there, but it might have been very triggering or
I think
PTSD if they dwelt on it too long.
I think it was a combination of that, and they kind of went over that in Age of Ultron too.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of like, I think Marvel has a fear of retreading, and so they overcompensate with like not doing any kind of retreading at all.
Right.
And because I definitely thought that like they should have gone over that, but I think they're just like, no, we did that in Age of Ultron, like we can't go over that again.
And they did it. They did enough to like showing the modern day Black Widows.
Yeah, I think they did enough to like fill in the blanks.
Yeah, to show what's going on in the Red Room.
And I think another example of that is like Marvel refusing to say Uncle Ben, like let alone like talk like his death or anything like that, but like they have not even acknowledged that Uncle Ben exists. Like
maybe he does it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and so like I think that's part of the reason why I'm like I think Marvel is like afraid of retreading anything.
Right.
Of like
they don't want to be. Yeah, they're kind of going their own different path.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, then we fast forward. Let's see. We go through the credit scene. That's kind of where we get a little bit of exposition.
Yeah.
With the past, and then we get into present day, or not present day, but
like more modern, I guess we'll say.
Grown up Black Widow,
grown up Natasha, and
she's an Avenger now.
Yeah, answered my question of when does this movie take place, and we know
pretty quickly.
This is after Civil War, before Infinity War.
Right.
And
what's that general's name?
Ross.
Yeah. So General Ross is there.
Yeah.
He's like one of the first people you see.
Yeah, and he is kind of like the underlying antagonist because he is hunting down Natasha because she broke the Segovian cords.
Right.
Which like when I was watching the movie, because she calls him and she's like, you don't want to do this kind of a thing.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, if it was me, I'd be like, dude, I'm friends with Thor. He's picking me up right now and taking me to Asgard. Do you have extradition in Asgard? I don't think so. Good luck finding me.
But she decided to go to the Midgard version of Asgard.
Yeah, she went to Norway. Yeah, she went to Norway. But yeah, I was just like, I would have just said that even if I didn't actually do it. I just feel like you're going to waste time, money, and resources trying to find me. I am not going to be on Earth. Good luck.
Heimdall's not going to beam you up.
Yeah. And if you try to find me in Asgard, do you think Thor is going to allow that? Like, yeah. That's like immediately what I would have said.
Right. So this is right after Civil War. Some of them are in prison. She's on the run.
Yeah, and they what is interesting though is they're like we've got Barton arrested. We've got like and like they make like a joke about Ant-Man.
Right.
I think they say like Falcon's arrested, but at the end of Civil War, Cap breaks them all out,
Yeah.
which is just weird because I'm like, did Cap like not do it yet? Like, anyways, that's just
It must have been like right after.
yeah,
Like she must have just barely been on the run. Like
yeah, I guess
just
so.
dipped from that airport or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because we saw like Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Iron Man and Black Panther. Technically, they all flew away to that hideout with Zemo.
yeah,
And then this was happening
yeah. Maybe this was
while
happening
that
around that
was
same
going
time.
on or something.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair assessment
Right.
of what happened.
Probably took a couple hours to get there.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
So yeah, we get there. She escapes again. She's laying low. She's goes to a trailer.
Yeah,
She has a dude that's kind of hooking her up with stuff like a
yeah,
hideout.
but
Then she runs out of gas.
yeah,
Has to go to the gas station.
yeah. And it was super funny because when they get to the gas station, you know, you see her. She doesn't get to the gas station. I should say she's driving to the gas station.
This
She
is where we meet.
stops. Yeah, she stops, and then she's getting ready to make a left turn. And in my head, I was like, "Did you know that the left turns are actually the most dangerous part of actually driving a car?" And then bam! And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
I'm never turning left again.
I'm never turning left again. I'm gonna make 3 rights.
Yeah. So yeah, her car blows up. We meet
Yeah.
Taskmaster.
Yeah,
The
she didn't
first
get hit by a
time.
car. I just want to specify she got hit by like a rocket launcher or something.
Yeah,
Um,
something blew up.
Yeah, and that was okay. So I just want to say, before this movie, I was a big fan of Taskmaster.
Uh-huh.
And by big fan, I mean as big of a fan as you get without actually reading 100 comics about Taskmaster.
Right.
But I loved him in Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I loved him in the Spider-Man PS4 game. He's in a couple of other things too, but I've always liked Taskmaster.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to see what they were going to do with Taskmaster in this
Mhm.
in this movie. And I think it was super cool because you could definitely see different people's styles when Taskmaster was fighting.
Yeah.
Um,
The most obvious one was the shield.
Yeah,
Captain
obviously-
America vibes.
yeah, definitely the shield, the way he was throwing it.
Black
And
Panther.
yeah, you saw some Black Panther in that scene where he hits her with the rocket launcher. He
Yeah.
does some Black Panther moves. You see a little bit of Winter Soldier with the way he's like using the knife, or
She.
she's using the knife. Yeah,
Right.
and that was I thought that all of that was just really cool.
Yeah.
And then later on, you see some Hawkeye.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought like the way they did Taskmaster was super cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, we meet Taskmaster for the first time right there, and Widow jumps off a bridge to escape Taskmaster.
She technically gets freaking punted off the bridge.
Yeah, she does. Punt.
Punt. Yeah, and she gets to dry land. She winds her way. Where does she end up going? Oh, she goes and finds her sister.
Yeah, they go to
She takes the vials that he was after,
Budapest.
which we totally forgot about the vials. There's these vials
There's
that
these vials. Yes.
are important. She goes to Budapest.
Budapest.
And she goes to find her long lost sister, or is it her sister?
Yeah,
Her fake sister.
I can't really remember how you say her name now. Was it
I
Elena?
honestly don't know her name.
Is Elena or something.
Elena? There we go. Yeah.
I'm so used to watching stuff with subtitles now that I just like don't pick up on stuff anymore. If I can't read it, it just like goes past my head.
Yeah. And yeah, and that was like her fake sister.
Mhm.
And yeah, I enjoyed seeing that little. They kind of fight each other for a bit when they first meet each other again.
Mhm.
I really liked the action in this.
Yeah,
It reminded me a lot of like a superhero female Born Identity Born movie. Like,
that's a really good comparison.
because yeah, there was just like because it was in Europe first of all for most of it, and so like you like when they were like on the motorcycle, I was like, oh, that's super like I think it's Born Ultimatum or Born Supremacy where they like have a motorcycle chase scene and stuff.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, this definitely had some Bourne,
yeah,
Jason Bourne vibes.
yeah, and I was totally cool with it. Um,
Yeah,
and
they
yeah,
fight a little bit. They stop fighting, get
got fine
along,
call, choose, get
start
along.
talking,
Yeah, and then
kind of realize they're both on the same
yeah,
side now.
yeah, they kind of talk about how all these Black Widows are being mind controlled, and it's like no, like it's like crazy mind control.
Her sister has recently come out of that mind
Yeah,
control because of these vials.
yeah, these
It's
vials are
important
like
to
the
know.
antidote to the mind control.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, we're kind of just like gonna go through like the major plot points. We're not gonna have to like go through like every little detail, right?
Yeah.
And then they
Good break.
decide, yeah, we have to go. They get chased by Taskmaster again.
Uh-huh.
And that's when they decide, okay,
Well, that was the car chase.
that's a car chase, yeah.
Yep.
We need to go get Alexi, David Harbour's character, out, aka the Red Guardian.
Why did they decide to do that? I was kind of like in and out of.
Because they thought he would know where
Yeah.
the Red Room.
Oh, they're trying to find the
location
Red
is.
Room. Okay.
They thought he was like higher up than he actually was,
Right.
essentially. And then when they bust him
Okay,
out,
so that's
yeah,
when they're like, "Where's the Red Room?" He's like, "I don't know."
yeah, he's like, I don't know. And then he was like, Rachel Weisz's character, Melina, that's her name.
Yeah.
Melina was like way more in the know than I was. Like,
Right.
but yeah, they go and they break him out, and then they have like a cool bust out scene. I did like seeing David Harbour just like arm wrestling like all of these guys.
Yeah.
While
He-
getting tattooed.
Yeah, while
while
getting tattooed.
Yeah.
And talking about how he beat up Captain America in the 90s.
He's like, he was still frozen in
He's still
ice.
frozen.
I really liked his character. I was most excited for it, and it. I mean, I feel like he should have been in it more. I mean, he was in it the whole time.
Yeah, he was in it.
But,
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
but
mean,
I'm like, I just wanted. I want a whole movie of him now.
yeah, I want to talk about that too. I guess we'll talk about that after we're done talking about the whole plot. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about the Red Guardian and more in a bit. So, anyways, yeah, they bust him out, and then yeah, like we said, that's when he's like, "Oh, I barely talked to the guy. Like, you want to talk to Melina? She was like the one who knew everything."
Right.
And so then they escape, fly to St. Petersburg, and they meet Melina again, who is living like on a farm with pigs,
Mm-hmm.
who are also
Very
brain
smart
control.
pigs.
Very smart pigs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of like for me, that was like the best part of the movie, character wise. That was like what this whole movie was kind of building to.
Yeah.
The family reunion.
The family reunion, yeah.
Which we forgot to mention how epic the helicopter avalanche prison scene was, because I thought that scene was really
That
good.
was really cool.
It was really cool. And I did like how Florence's character, Florence how do you say her last name? Florence Pugh? Like,
I have no idea.
yeah. Anyways, her character was like, this is a good way to die. Or like, this is
Yes.
a cool way to die. And I was like,
I like that.
I like that. That's funny.
Mhm.
That joke landed with me. I just want to say real quick. You know what joke did not land with me, but they definitely did it multiple times?
The period joke, the ovaries jokes.
No, not that one, actually.
Oh, okay.
The superhero landing joke.
Oh yeah.
Like that's been done to death now. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
like, okay, you're not the first one to do it, and like this isn't even like a funny version of it.
Uh-huh.
Like, either don't do superhero poses then, or like do them but just don't make fun of them. Like, I'm
Right.
kind of bored with them. Like, I'm kind of bored with this joke now.
Yeah. Overdone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyways, yeah, the
The family
epic-
reunion was hilarious, I thought. Pretty
Yeah.
funny.
yeah, I did like that. I do think this right here is where Yelena / Florence. I really think this is kind of where she kind of tops off the movie. I think this is where she kind of makes the movie hers.
Uh huh.
And that's when um, she's like, it wasn't fake to me. Like, it might have been fake for you, it might have been fake for you, but this is real to me. Like, that was real to me.
Yeah.
And like how like genuinely hurt she was about that.
Mm-hmm.
There was one part though in the scene that I kind of thought like the writing, I don't want to say dropped the ball, but they didn't explore like all avenues.
Uh huh.
Is when she's upset and she's like, you were bored, you weren't a real mother, blah blah blah, and like you escaped and like left me, kind of a thing to Natasha.
Uh huh.
I think like right there, like Natasha should have been like how dare you like condemn me or like like whatever for escaping. Like
Yeah.
if you had the opportunity to escape, you would have done it too, and like don't pretend you wouldn't have, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
I think I kind of thought that was like it obviously wasn't a big deal in the movie, but I think me as a person would have been like, no, that's messed up that you're like upset and angry at me for escaping.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's something that like I don't know if the writing just didn't think about that. I don't know if whatever reason why that wasn't explored, but I thought that was something where it's like, yeah, you shouldn't like blame survivors for surviving, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But that's just
I
my
loved the
opinion.
American Pie, like when the dad started singing that.
That was
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
That was a good moment.
It was a tender moment.
yeah. I was very just that whole scene where she like essentially like goes to her room even though she's never been to this house before.
Uh-huh.
And then like I like how they all kind of just fell back into these roles of like mom, dad,
Yeah. It was
sister.
natural.
Yeah, it's very natural.
Yeah.
And I just like when David Harbour's character just stands up and is like, I'll go talk to her.
Mhm.
Like that was very I think that happened very naturally.
Yeah. I agree.
I also loved him getting into his old super suit.
Yeah.
That was great.
Fat guy in a little suit.
It still fits. Yeah, that was great. I also liked where he was like, I just got out of jail. I have a lot of energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, they kind of decide to. This is where they go. They decide they're going to take down the Red Room.
Yeah. I want to say I like Black Widow did a really cool thing of calling back to like old things Black Widow did in like the previous movies
Yeah.
that like we haven't seen since like they were first showed off.
Mhm.
So like the big one, like the superhero pose where they're like, why do you like, when they're at like the gas station and like she's like, why do you like land like do this pose? And it's like she hasn't done that pose since like Iron Man 2. Like
Yeah.
Right.
but like they bring that pose back and that was funny.
Uh-huh.
And then later on, obviously, they bring in the face masks again from Civil War.
Right.
Um,
They use those in Civil War.
or it was Winter Soldier. Sorry.
The face, the Mission Impossible.
Yeah, remember in Winter Soldier, Black Widow switches places with one of the World Council people, and so she like takes it off. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it was a while ago, and like we've never seen that since. So I think it was a good job of like bringing back like these old things, and then like
Yeah.
So this is the point in the movie where I like lost the plot. Like it was just too convenient because I was getting the vibe that the mom was still very loyal to the Red Room and whatever,
Yeah.
her job there. And then
right.
That's what
all
they
of a
want you to
sudden,
think.
10 minutes later, you're like, oh, she's on their side.
Yeah, I think that
I was
was
confused by that.
the way I interpret it is I think she was up until basically the point where she wasn't, and I think what it was when she realized that the other widow was being mind controlled.
Okay.
I think
that did it for her.
I think that's when she realized, like,
Because she really didn't know.
yeah, she didn't know. Yeah,
her quote unquote daughter had been one of those that was tortured, basically,
right. And
manipulated.
the way I interpret it too is either A, she didn't know, which I think is like the most logical assumption.
Yeah.
Or B, she did know, and it wasn't until like she was staring at her again that like all of a sudden she like realized that like she still has this like motherly feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
I
like
just don't feel like that was very clearly communicated, though.
I think it could have been done better, but I think like upon watching it, that's how I picked it up as.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it might have been too, just again, kind of just seeing everyone how like again how they all just kind of naturally fell back into the roles. Like David Harbour was clearly the dad again, and like they were clearly children, like they clearly like fell back into those roles as kids. And I think that was either like a reminder for her, kind of a thing. But yeah, I kind of assumed that like she was loyal up until the very moment that she decided that she wasn't anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, then she wasn't, and they helped each other take down the Red Room. How BA was it when Black Widow freaking smashed her gland on the
face.
desk?
Oh man, so I was like, right before that, I was like, why is she not dodging? Like, there's no like, I get she can't punch him because of the pheromones. Like,
Yeah.
so there's like these pheromones that like when you smell them, you can't hit the main bad guy. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, but I'll buy it. But I was like, why is she not dodging? Like, she can easily dodge. And then when she's like, yeah, like, oh man, I thought you would hit stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's
punch
like,
me in the face harder.
Yeah.
She was taunting him.
Yeah. And then when she like finally just breaks her nose, I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Which then made me think, could Owen Wilson, with his broken nose, would he be able to like would that not affect him? If Mobius came down, like
if Mobius was a Black Widow,
would he be okay?
Yeah. Now maybe we'll find it out in the What If series.
Ka-chow. Would he go ka-chow and then he just punches him in the face?
Wow. Yeah, so that, I mean, the finale, you find out Taskmaster is actually the daughter that.
Oh yeah, that was kind of a big. I feel like that was lackluster.
Yes.
How like Scarlett Johansson killed this girl, quote unquote. But I guess in like a logical sense she did, but it's not like she pulled the trigger. It's not like she was the one who like actively killed her.
She was responsible.
She was responsible for it. Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it was like they could have made that like a more emotional scene of like having Black Widow like actually somehow think she killed her rather than just be like, oh yeah, you're good to go, and then boom, a rocket like just hits the building and she seemingly dies.
Right.
So like when that reveal came, it was not like a dramatic reveal. I thought that one was pretty flat on that reveal.
Yeah, and I actually knew it was a woman before the reveal. You could
tell her walk.
There was a moment where when I thought it was a man, was walking, and I was like, that is a woman's walk. and I was like, it's a woman.
Woman stunt character.
Yeah, I didn't predict it. I thought it was the mom, Melina.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and then ended up.
Yeah, I think the daughter. So, I mean, I know we've both only seen it once.
Yeah.
But was that a woman Taskmaster? Like, I know it's the same Taskmaster. I know, like, character-wise, it's the same character. But was a woman portraying Taskmaster when they were fighting Black Widow at the beginning of the movie?
I feel like
I would say yes.
Okay, because
I feel like it's a man.
I didn't pick up on it at all, and then when they take I was surprised, but that they revealed that it was Olga Kurylenko.
Yeah.
But then when she took the helmet off, I was like, that doesn't look right anymore. Like she looks like her proportions. Olga Kurylenko's proportions did not match
with the stunt,
with the way that double. With the way that the Taskmaster looked.
Right.
and like it was just like her head is only like yay big, whereas like Taskmaster has like shoulders like 4 inches
Like
broader.
broad,
Like, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So like that part where I was just like, oh, okay, like that's just weird that like they would make Taskmaster. I guess it was just meant to be like a fake out, like they did it for the fake out.
yeah.
But like I was just like, oh, like that's one, it wasn't like a very good reveal, I thought, and then like two, I was just kind of like, oh, that's weird. Like
Right.
just a weird way that they did that.
Yeah. I think we both agree. Just, I mean, it just wasn't as emotional
Yeah.
as I think they wanted it to
I
be.
think, yeah, I think they wanted it to be like a much bigger emotional reveal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and like to be fair, they have done those reveals where they've worked. I mean, obviously, like Bucky was a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people were actually surprised that it was Bucky.
Mhm.
That was the Winter Soldier, but I'm guessing there were people.
I was, because I didn't know anything about the Winter Soldier.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But that's why it wasn't like.
Yeah. And then I think the other like big reveal that they pulled off was what's his name in Spider-Man Homecoming?
The dad.
The dad,
The
yeah.
Vulture.
Vulture dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like I remember being in the movie theater and like the whole theater gasped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like,
when he opens the door.
Yeah, when he opens the door right there. Yeah.
Homecoming.
For Homecoming, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was like a big reveal. Whereas
it's Michael Keaton.
Yeah, and Michael Keaton. Yeah, I couldn't think of Michael Keaton's last name for a second.
Yeah.
Whereas when I saw Black Widow right now, granted saw a matinee and like the theater was like basically empty.
Right.
But like there was no like, oh, like there's nothing. It was just like, oh, I think
we
everybody
were in a
had,
full theater and there was none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that one fell flat than what they intended it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still really like Taskmaster. I loved that Taskmaster and Red Guardian squared off.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that
was a fun fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it just went to show that Captain America would have just owned Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Because Taskmaster was predominantly using the shield, and Taskmaster was not up for that. Like,
right.
I think if they bring back Taskmaster, it'd be really cool if they got David Harbour like in shape.
Uh-huh.
And like they've just been like, yeah, like the past year and a half, whatever, 2 years, however much end time universe, it's like he just got like ripped again. Like, I think that'd be really cool. And then like, yeah, he's just like super strong and crazy.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
he did a great job as the Red Guardian too.
Yeah, he did, and
good job with the accent. Sold everybody on being a Russian.
That was kind of like my other question of like, they all, except for Scarlett Johansson, they all did Russian accents.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you guys speak perfect English. Like, not because I know you as an actor can, but because I have seen your character speak perfect English at the beginning of the movie.
Right. that was one thing that threw me off, was the American accents at the beginning and then Russian accents the rest of the way through.
Yeah.
Just
and
like,
then
what in the
and then
world?
like my other thought was just like, I get like just for the simplicity of a movie, but like, wouldn't you guys all just be speaking Russian then? Like,
yeah.
Like, if like you want, I think it's like you just want to default to your native tongue.
Yeah.
Like whenever possible.
Right.
But yeah, those aren't, I would call those nitpicks. Those aren't like,
no, those aren't.
Don't ruin the movie in any way or anything like that. But it's definitely something that like I thought of when I was watching the movie.
So let's talk about the ending. It's kind of it's like a storybook ending. Bad guy dies. They obviously have to kind of make it so there's no loose ends because it's a prequel.
Right.
I mean, there's a couple of things, but it's not like
this is the part where like I kind of the movie starts to drag a little bit. It's a little too long at this part, I think.
Yeah.
Because like the station is crashing and the only person still on the station is Taskmaster and Black Widow.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, like I know she's not going to die. So like I'm hoping they're just going to make this quick, but they drag it out another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you're just like, can we just wrap this up now? Let's wrap it up.
Right.
Go ahead and just wrap it up now.
Come on now.
At this point in the movie, Mitch went to the bathroom, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I missed the part where the fat, basically President Rose from Hunger Games. That's what I thought he was. He died.
He died, yeah.
And yeah, and then I saw what's her face, the sister laying on the ground.
Which I think a better ending, instead of him just dying in like a fiery ball, I think it would have just been better if like they free Taskmaster, and Taskmaster's the one who kills the dad.
Yeah,
like that seems like a better ending than just him being like, oh no, you shoved the pole in my plane's engine and then I died.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, so yeah, they free Taskmaster from the mind control. So yeah, I'm a little conflicted on that. Because like I said, I really like Taskmaster. Obviously, I mean, there has been more than one Taskmaster before, so they can bring back a different Taskmaster if they wanted to.
Okay.
But I'm really bummed that Taskmaster might be a one and done bad guy.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest gripes with the film as well. I guess.
I think it'd be so cool if like Anthony Mackie is fighting Taskmaster, or freaking Winter Soldier is fighting Taskmaster.
Yeah.
There's like so many matchups that I would love to see, and like there's ways that they can like bring back a Taskmaster. Like I think they can do that like pretty easily. But yeah, I'm just kind of bummed that like as of right now, Taskmaster is a one and done character.
Yeah.
Oh man, Spider-Man would be so good. Like Spider-Man would be like trying to like web shoot him, and then like you just like see like Taskmaster like jumping through it, around it. Oh, it'd be so good.
Could you imagine though? Like I was imagining even a bigger scene with Taskmaster because the powers that he has, which I guess are like computer generated, are so powerful against anybody.
Yeah.
He's mimicking their fighting style.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like almost like a Civil War moment where you have like 5-on-1. You got Captain America, cool. Black Panther, a couple of people with very different fighting styles fighting him, and he's just taking them all on at the same time.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like in the Spider-Man PS4 game, every time I got to fight, like Taskmaster's kind of like a recurring character that you would just randomly fight. And like every time he came up, I was like, all right, let's do this. Like,
right. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. It would almost be as cool of a fight as like the fight against Thanos in Infinity Wars when they're trying to get the glove off his hand, the gauntlet.
It just there's just like so many different like matchups that you could do with with Taskmaster.
Yeah. And they would all be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like Taskmaster pulled out a sword. Imagine Hawkeye with his sword with Taskmaster. Oh, like that would be like we could get like an Star Wars episode 3 sword fight in the MCU. Like,
or like bringing Shang-Chi into the mix.
That'd be so cool.
Just some mad kung fu.
Oh my gosh, yes. Or Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
Like a Daredevil Taskmaster hallway fight scene.
Oh yeah. That would be amazing.
One continuous shot. Like that'd be so cool. Like, oh man. So
yeah, let's hope that something comes up with Taskmaster again. I'm hoping for it because I think there's a lot of potential there.
I'm hoping too. I'm hoping Olga Kurylenko is just like, you know what, you freed me, but I just want to be a bad guy. Like,
right.
There's more money to be made.
Yeah. I was having a lot of fun until you guys showed up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And then so everyone pretty much everybody survives and is freed, and then we have our end credit scene.
Real quick before we get to the end credit scene, I just want to say I do like how this movie answered a question that I don't think anyone asked, and that's how did Captain America get a Quinjet in the Infinity War on the run? That is literally a question I did not ask.
Uh-huh.
But Black Widow is like, damn it, we got the answer, so we're gonna show you no matter what.
I didn't even think
I
about
didn't put
that.
that together.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
like
mean,
they
I saw the jet at the end and I'm like, oh cool, she got a jet. I just didn't. It's been a while since I've seen the movies that like this takes place at.
Mhm.
And so I didn't even remember what happened after. Didn't remember what. I mean, I remembered Civil War to a point, but I didn't remember her part of Civil War. I just remember the big parts.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even remember what happened to
Because
her. You know.
I mean, like real quick, in an Infinity War, after they save Vision and Wanda from being
Yeah.
attacked, they like get in a Quinjet and they're like, "Where are we going?" And then they're like, "Home," and like they fly away in a Quinjet. At no point, and I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times now, did I ever go, well, wait a minute, where did they get that Quinjet from?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it literally never had that question. But this movie's like, don't worry, we've got that answer.
We have the answer.
We have
Right.
the answer.
And here's the answer. that
Radio
you didn't know
Shack.
you
You've got
needed.
questions, we got answers. This episode has been brought to you by Radio Shack. Radio Shack, where your grandparents used to buy their batteries from.
Radio Shack, where you can still listen to a Major League Baseball game on a Walkman.
Radio Shack, coming soon to Airbnb.
Blockbuster has an Airbnb, by the way.
Oh, sweet. Radio Shack, where you
The
can
last
buy
blockbuster.
Radio Shack, where you can buy that portable DVD player you've been wanting.
Since you were 13.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's
And then
Black Widow.
Yeah, and then
We
we
got
get
an end credit scene
Yeah, then we get the end credit scene.
with
Which
Valentina.
I think that was a very good end credit scene.
Yeah.
Because definitely, again, another thing that I did not consider is like Black Widow gets this nice little family reunion and everybody's happy, everybody's cool. Black
Uh-huh.
Widow's like, I have 2 families and I'm gonna go fix my other family.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of how the movie ends. And you're like, oh yay. And then you're like, oh wait, yeah, she died.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we get to see Yelena or whatever, her name. How you say her name? She goes and visits her grave.
Right.
And that's where I was just like, oh yeah, like I kind of forgot about that for a second.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then Valentina shows up. And it's at this point that I'm thinking Valentina is essentially Nick Fury in Phase 1, where Nick Fury is trying to put together a team for the Avengers, and Valentina is putting together a team, but it's the Thunderbolts.
Right. I've heard of the Thunderbolts. John Walker's going to be part of it.
Yeah, we already know John Walker's a part of it now we know that originally, Black Widow was supposed to come out a year ago, and we were going to get that end credit scene a year ago, and then this year we were going to get that in
Right. Those were going to be
Falcon
in
the
a
Winter
different
Soldier.
order.
Yeah, so they flipped it on us, and I don't really think it made a difference either way.
No, it didn't.
So
yeah.
So she's working with Valentina now.
And her target.
Yeah, and Valentina gives her a new mission, and her target is Clint Hawkeye
Eastwood. Oh, right.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Could you imagine that? She shows up and Clint Eastwood comes out and he's like, "Get off my lawn!"
Shoots her in the face with a shotgun, double barrel.
This is my lawn and I want you off of it.
The end. Okay, sorry, sir.
Sir, this is Halloween. We're just trick or treating. Get off my lawn.
All right, so we got that, and then
so I want to talk about that for a second now too.
Is that gonna lead into the Hawkeye series?
I was gonna say, is that leading into the Hawkeye series? And if so, this is the first time a movie is connecting to the show,
right?
Which is really cool. Because
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, that's never happened before. Is the movie leading to the show?
I mean, we haven't really had any shows that are like majorly complementing the movies.
Yeah, I mean, like in Agents
until now.
In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we had like kind of a lead into Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But that was like, I mean, watching that whole season for this little reference in Age of Ultron was, tedious at best.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I just want to kind of like do little predictions about what's going to happen with her and Hawkeye. So I'll go last because I kind of thought about this already. But what do you guys think? What's going to happen between her and Clint?
They're
Well,
going to have an affair.
Whoa.
Well,
Just
Whoa.
I wouldn't. go
I mean,
that far.
swing for the fences right there with that prediction.
I'm going to say that he's going to be like accused of pushing her off the cliff,
Right.
and then she's going to want to kill him, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
And then he's going to turn her to his side, because I don't feel like that's enough of a conflict for either of them. I think both of them are able to see reason. I'm talking I don't know the blonde chick's name. I know you've said it 1,000 times. Elena.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've said it wrong. I've said it wrong a couple of times now too. Elena.
Yeah. So I think she'll be able to see logically. I mean, it may take 3 episodes, but then she's either going to just go away or help them with whatever the real threat is. I don't think she's going to be like the villain of the Hawkeye series. I think she's just going to be one of those annoying nuisances in Hawkeye's life that he kind of has to take care of, but there's a bigger problem.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be like a side thing for him.
They might kill him too, because I think his daughter is supposed to kind of take over the mantle, right?
She's going to be a major role in that too.
I wouldn't be surprised if she kills him.
Before I get and throw in, Marissa, what about you? Do you have any kind of predictions you want to?
I said mine.
Okay. Be fair?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure his wife is a lovely person.
She is. She's freaking. Where's my glasses?
Yeah, my glasses. I can't see anything without my glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a big thing is like there's going to be a fight between the two. Maybe she ends up even kidnapping Hawkeye's daughter. I don't know. Like I don't know if that's a thing that can happen or not.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a point, and I think it's going to be very similar to Batman versus Superman, where it's like, save Martha. Why did you say that name? I think it's going to be like, I'm going to kill your daughter because you took my sister. And Clint's going to be like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, she was my sister. Like, and he's going to be like, yeah, like she was my sister too. And he's like, like, what do you mean? And then it's like, yeah, like I loved her like a sister, and like that's gonna be like the thing that like de-escalates the situation. Is like they're gonna realize that like through Natasha, like they're siblings too,
right?
And then and then Clint's gonna kind of take on like a more mentor, brotherly kind of figure to her, and then her and Clint's daughter are gonna kind of be like friends, and that's going to lead into like the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Because we know Young Avengers, we're going to have Clint we're going to have Clint's daughter. Maybe I'm guessing her now.
Loki.
I think Kat from Scott's daughter in the event on Ant-Man is going to be doing that too. Because she's
Iron
aged
Man's
up.
Daughter, maybe.
She aged up. Yeah. So I think that's kind of where that's kind of my prediction of where things are going to go.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna be like, save Martha, you killed my sister, and it's like, I lost my sister, like kind of a thing.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happen. I think they'll quickly realize that they're both on the same side.
Yeah,
and then I think a lot of it's going to be like, why is Valentina sending?
Yeah, why is Valentina trying to pull these strings, and why is she trying to kill an Avenger?
That's the biggest question I have. Why does she care to kill Hawkeye? And
well,
but then,
I think
there's a lot of stuff that happened during the blip period.
Yeah,
that maybe he interfered with some of her business.
Oh yeah, for sure. That could definitely be a thing. Where
As
I think
Ronan.
Yeah, I think he definitely made a lot of enemies during the 5 years.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna kind of find out is that Valentina's gonna be like, no, this is top secret, this is top notch, come straight to me, you guys are on a need to know basis.
Right.
And then it's gonna be like that movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie, where we find out that she's kind of like not giving, like, some of the missions are legit, some of the missions she just kind of slides in there.
Yeah.
So, and then they're gonna be like, oh, you've been using us, and then like Walker's like, I betrayed my country because of you.
Mm-hmm. And then Jerry Seinfeld comes in,
and then Jerry Seinfeld's like, what the heck's going on?
Hello, Newman. And it's actually Newman.
It's actually Newman
suit.
And he's like, I try to do nothing. This is about nothing.
That's how the Phase 5 is going to go.
And then the bad guy's George the whole time.
Phase 5 is going to be a Seinfeld reunion.
Yeah. Oh God, imagine that. I would love that. Actually, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad.
That'd be pretty crazy.
Jerry, I told you already. I didn't want to be in a Marvel movie, Jerry. I told you, Jerry.
Somehow we just tied Marvel into Seinfeld.
I mean, it wasn't that hard
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Aaron, how did you like this movie versus Captain Marvel?
I like this movie better than Captain Marvel.
I like every movie better than Captain Marvel.
I don't think Captain Marvel's a bad movie. I just think that is a C+ movie.
Wait.
Captain Marvel.
C+. I mean, C+ could be bad depending on the parent.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying.
But for a white family, I think that's pretty good. Okay.
I'll take that out.
No, yeah, I think Captain Marvel's a C+ movie. I think they wanted to do more than what they got to do.
Why do you think that is?
It just seems like I think either A, they wanted to make a bolder statement with that movie than Marvel was willing to let them do.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they kind of did like this like half statement kind of a thing. And I think the other part too is like they wanted to make this like this big epic thing, but then Marvel's like, no, like Endgame was our big epic thing. Like you literally, like you are here to get us from A to B.
Right.
And like just do that, like kind of a thing.
You're here to like save the day, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Captain Marvel is going to literally go toe to toe with Thanos. This movie just needs to show why she can do that. Like,
yeah.
So I kind of think that's kind of a big issue for Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested to see the Marvels movie. If they're gonna have a little bit more freedom and they might be able to do a bit more with that. Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely rank this movie higher than Captain Marvel. What about you guys? What about Marissa?
Yeah.
I'm specifically Marissa. I want to hear Marissa's opinion.
Yeah, I didn't really like Captain Marvel that much. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really feel a connection to her character. Whereas with Black Widow, you know, we've known her for a long time. It's like
and all
nostalgic.
The side characters too. Like
yeah,
side characters were good in this movie.
Yeah, the whole family. Even Taskmaster to a degree was like.
I just think Taskmaster was cool. I didn't really.
Yeah, the fighting was awesome. The reveal was a little bit.
Yeah, the reveal was lacking. Yeah,
but the fighting scenes with Taskmaster were really cool.
I think a big problem too with Captain Marvel is that I think Captain Marvel is going to be kind of a hard character to like. It's a character that you can root for. It's a character that like you want to see like what they're gonna do, but it's not necessarily a character that you're like rooting for. Like as opposed to like Peter Parker, where you're like, oh man, like it's a kid. He's just down on his luck. He's just trying to take his girlfriend on a date, like kind of a thing. But like he can't do that because he can't make ends meet because blah blah blah. Whereas like Captain Marvel like is just kind of, I don't know. I think that might just be a little too. She's a little too cold, a little too distant.
Yeah.
To like. And like I realize like saying that like people are gonna be like that's a sexist point of view, and I'm like I mean I don't think so, but it's definitely not meant to be. Like
it's like factual. She was just like a cold standoffish character that nobody really liked. and it was you had
And
a
we'd
hard
never
time.
heard of until that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, they didn't make her likable. It's like
Yeah, and I'm hoping in the next movie, you know, she kind of goes through like an arc where she's like, oh, you know what, maybe I, you know, being a little more friendly does, you know, help out. Like, I'll say this, I like Black Widow a lot more than Captain Marvel movie. I mean, just talking about the movies, and I liked the Captain Marvel movie more than I liked the Wonder Woman movie.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love Wonder
And
Woman.
we're doing this because we're kind of ranking the
Female leads.
latest superhero female-led movies.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I
I think
haven't
it is good to compare them.
I haven't seen Captain America. I haven't seen Wonder Woman 2 yet. But Wonder Woman felt like a discount Captain America, the first Captain America movie.
Yes, I can see that. I don't necessarily agree. That's not really how I felt when I was watching it, but I do see your point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Widow. Black
I love
Widow
Wonder
was.
Woman. That's one of my favorite movies.
We'll have to have you on.
I just love the what are they called? The Amazonkas.
Amazonians.
Amazonkas. The Oompa Loompas.
I just love the Oompa Loompas and how they just made that chocolate river.
Anyways.
But yeah, I think Black Widow, I think they did a really good job. I thought it was a good send-off. I do have some problems with the movie as just like being predictable and like
convenient.
I was kind of like falling asleep through some of it. I was just like, I don't really care enough about anything here. There wasn't enough like big Marvel reveals for me to like care that much. It felt like its own movie, which is fine because that's what it was supposed to be. But that's about it.
Yeah, for me, I just think the last 30 minutes could have been like half that long. I mean, maybe even like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is like a lot of time because that movie is probably only like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long it is, but yeah. Because we know Captain Marvel is going to live. We don't know if any of the other characters are going to die, but none of them are ever put in a position where you might think that they are going to die. So like it just kind of that last couple of minutes really kind of bogged the movie down a bit. But other than that, I very much enjoyed Black Widow.
Right.
I think this was I was a little confused as to why this wasn't in phase 3 and why this is the one that kicks off phase 4. I think that's kind of a weird one, but I besides that, I think this is a good movie. And then let's throw it to Marissa real quick, and then after that, let's like give it a grade.
Okay.
Yeah,
Marissa.
I thought it was pretty good. I give it like a 7 out of 10. And I thought the fighting scenes were really good, and there was some interesting nostalgia. I did have some issues just with the plot line being convenient. And yeah, but I thought it was pretty good. I liked the beginning the best and the closing, what's it called? The end credit scene.
Yeah. All right, Mitch, what about you? Grade and you like a couple sentences why?
Last night I gave it a 6 out of 10, but as I've been thinking about it as we've been chatting, I would probably still stick with a 6 out of 10 for the overall movie, but I'll give the action scenes a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
The 6 out of 10 is going towards my lack of interest.
Gotcha.
And I'm not trying to like crap all over the movie. I think it was a well done movie. I thought the story was pretty intriguing. It just was too predictable. It felt kind of like the Winter Soldier storyline, kind of compressed into a smaller movie.
And different chemicals.
Yeah, and different chemicals. It's just like another way to control a human, and then they find an antidote, and then it's, it was just too predictable for me. Taskmaster was cool. That was the other thing. I was so let down by the Taskmaster reveal that I was just like, that you just kind of made this character less interesting to me. All of that fighting, and then the reveal was just like, oh, dang.
Okay, I'm gonna give it an 8. 8.5 maybe even.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this movie. I thought that it was a good in between movie, kind of connecting some dots that we didn't know needed to be connected. I think it makes uh, Natasha's sacrifice that much more sad at the end,
Hmm.
because at seeing Infinity War or at seeing Endgame, I was like, no, it should absolutely be Natasha. Like she has nothing and Clint has a family. And it's like,
Right.
oh no, Black Widow actually totally has a family. She totally has something to live for,
Hmm.
and people waiting on her to come back. Um, I think, like you kind of already said, the action was really good. I think the story was interesting and it introduced a lot of new fun characters that we will hopefully see coming out through the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
I absolutely want to see David Harbour come back. I would love to see him square off with Anthony Mackie. I think that would be awesome.
Oh yes.
Um,
I will. I want to say one more thing about like kind of to add on to that point.
mhm,
If they do bring in, Red Guardian, and you know that Elena's going to be in it
mhm,
in some future Marvel production, but if they do bring in like Red Guardian and maybe Taskmaster comes back in some form, I would probably give this movie a higher rating,
mhm.
but I don't know what's going to happen with the future.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It just didn't feel like it was tying in to any major
Mhm.
future Marvel stuff.
Yeah. And then just to quickly end my I think Elena was a very fun character and I kind of like that she is going to be the spiritual successor to Natasha.
Yeah.
And I think kind of like Natasha had to go through her like defect phase, and which we've only seen a little bit of. We're gonna kind of see Elena go through that too, but like much more within the universe. We're going to see her work for presumably the Thunderbolts and then possibly leave that to go join the Avengers at some point. So I think all of that is a very fun setup, introducing new characters.
Mm.
In a way, a proper goodbye to Natasha that we didn't get. We got that proper goodbye for Tony.
Mhm.
We got a goodbye for Steve, and we got the goodbye for Natasha in this movie, and I think that was well. She definitely earned it. She's been there since Iron Man 2.
Right.
So I think that was a well earned for her as well.
Hmm.
And like you said, the action was good. The story, yeah, it's a little predictable, but I find all prequels kind of fall into that problem. So if you can kind of look past that,
Yeah.
I think this is definitely a fun movie that is definitely worth seeing in the theaters just for all of that, for all the action and
Hmm.
explosions and stuff. And yeah, it's a good movie to. I mean, for me, I don't know for you guys. This is my first movie seeing in a theater since the pandemic. So this was a fun movie to go back and see in a
Right.
theater.
Yeah.
So
We've
yeah,
seen a couple, but
In
yeah.
fact, we
yeah,
went to see Wonder Woman 2 in
Yeah,
theaters
that was I
ah,
think that
during
was our first one
during
actually.
lockdown.
very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I will leave it as at an 8, possibly an 8.5.
Yeah. I will say to kind of go over the things we said at the beginning, I do not think I disagree with people that are saying that this is a big flop by Marvel.
Yeah,
This is Scarlett Johansson's worst movie.
definitely not. I mean, like
Too much.
I don't think this is like a bad performance by ScarJo at all.
No.
But I definitely think what's her name? I don't know how to say her last name. Florence Pug
Uh-huh.
or whatever. Yeah, I definitely think she like stole the limelight. Or maybe that was even intentional to kind of have her, you know, when she's coming back, she's going to be more and more. But like, yeah, like she definitely. And again, that's kind of more of Black Widow's character. She's very reserved. She kind of hides her feelings. She masks them quite literally with an actual mask.
Yeah.
Whereas Elena was kind of very much more open about that, more open about her feelings.
Right.
And so, but yeah, I think so. I just think that was a directional choice, not because Scarlett Johansson is incapable of acting like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Well, good. Well,
good.
let's do a quick Loki review.
Yeah,
And
we
then,
ended up talking a lot longer than I thought we would about
yeah,
about
it
this movie.
happens, but
It
yeah,
does, yeah,
it was a good movie and needed to be talked about.
yeah. Let's talk about Loki real quick, real
Okay.
quick. Is it just me, or does anybody else just want to see Loki kiss Sylvie already? Like,
I do.
let's just get it on. Let's go.
No matter
Let's
how
go.
Alabama-ish it is, I
It's
just
not.
want to
It's
see
not
it.
even Alabama-ish because like it's the same person. I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, come on, let's do it. Let's get it on. Like, let's go. Let's do
Yeah.
this. Don't
Yeah.
Jim and Pam me for 5 seasons.
Yeah. I think yeah. I have very mixed feelings about them being romantically involved. I'm like, I want it, but I don't.
Oh, I want it. Oh, I want it, baby. I want it.
Wow.
Give it to
I'm
me.
just like it's mostly I don't because I'm like I have this thing in the back of my mind that's like, are they like related? I don't even know. I don't even know what to I don't even know how to look at this because
Oh,
I've never thought about that
I
before.
want it. I want it.
Yeah.
All of the females wanted to. There's a lot of good
Technically
girls
they're
like
completely
bad
different
guys
people,
crushes on Loki.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess besides that, we saw a great deal in this last episode. And we have to ask the important question because we don't have a lot of time left. So just the important questions only. What are your feelings on Alligator Loki?
I think he stole the show, and I think they need to make at least a 4-part. Like they need to
Spin-off?
sign him to like a 4-movie contract,
Yeah,
movie deal,
at
like they
least.
did with Chris Evans.
At
Like
least, yeah.
maybe I know they're not doing the big contracts anymore, but like something
Yeah.
something to get him paid. Get
Sign
the
that,
man paid.
sign that alligator up because he's going places and we need to lock him down.
Mhm.
Marissa,
Yeah, do not let him go to DC and become a Killer Croc.
how do you feel about Alligator Loki?
I really like Alligator Loki.
Yeah. I am right now very much hoping that by the time I go back to Disney World, there's gonna be an Alligator Loki there.
Heck
Yeah, that'd be great. There'll probably be a stuffed version of him.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely alligators in Disney World, so just put a hat with horns on
Start
them.
letting the gators into the park,
Yeah.
walking around. Biting off people's hands.
The funny thing is like I don't know how Loki falls into the contract with Marvel Heroes for Disney World, but like if they could, they would have done it. But then that kid got eaten by an alligator at Disney World, so they're not going to do it. Thanks a lot, kid.
Yeah.
Ruin it for the rest of us. Maybe.
I loved all the variations of Loki. It was fun to see like the classic Loki just take control.
Yeah.
At that one point.
Did you guys
giant Asgard? Yeah.
Did you guys?
You mean old guy tight pants Loki?
Yeah, they've been calling him classic Loki.
Classic Loki. Did you guys see the Frog Thor?
I did. I didn't know who it was until I went and watched a video kind of talking about the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I had heard about the Frog Thor before that, so I knew who it was, but I wasn't able to see. I guess I just wasn't able. It was just such a fast scene that
it's a fast scene, and apparently they got Chris Hemsworth to come in and record some lines for that scene.
Right.
Like they didn't reuse old dialogue or anything like that. They brought him in.
That's cool.
Could you imagine? Like, hey, Chris, this is Kevin Feige over here. Oh, hey, Kevin, what's going on? Yeah, I gotta. I need you to do some lines again real quick for me. Oh yeah, sure. Are we doing What If again, or what's going on? No, it's for the Loki show. Oh, awesome. Yeah, the Loki show. What do you want me to say? Like Loki, or like what do you want me to do? Am I gonna actually be in the scene? No. You're gonna be a frog.
Frog Thor.
Animated frog.
You're gonna be an animated frog, Chris. Just trust me on this one. The kids are gonna love it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real, Chris. This isn't even going to be half as bad as when you were in Ghostbusters. So let's just get to it.
Right. Yeah, that was a cool Easter egg. There was the Thanos copter. There was
the Thanos chopper was real cool.
The Yellow Jacket guy, or what was his name? Yellow Jacket. The bad guy from Ant-Man.
He was in there.
His helmet.
Oh, I don't even remember that now.
Yeah, his helmet was. That was one I actually saw during the show. I didn't have to go back and watch a video about it.
Dang, that's cool. I'll have to go back and check that one out because I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
his helmet is in there, and then there's a Stark Tower, but it's got Kang written on it.
Yeah,
And then
that's
there
cool.
was the helicarrier thing in there as well. A lot of
A lot of fun little
Marvel
Easter eggs.
stuff.
Yeah.
Which
So-
are you enjoying more, the Loki show or WandaVision?
That's a tough one. I've actually had this conversation a few times with different people. I want to wait for the last episode of Loki. But I think I like Loki more. But like the way I've kind of been telling people about this is like I liked Loki before the Loki show came out. Like I knew who Loki was, like, you know. So like
Yeah.
watching a show about Loki was not a risk for me.
Uh,
WandaVision was definitely a riskier show.
yeah,
And like I definitely like and have like I definitely love the characters Wanda and Vision more from the show than I did before.
right.
If that makes sense.
All right, so going to my question is, what are your predictions for episode 6?
Man, I really have no idea where the show's going.
We're gonna find out tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's the best
find
part
out.
about this.
But I have no idea. We got to figure out who's actually behind all of this.
Yeah.
It's Mobius, obviously. Mobius is obviously behind all of this.
Mobius or what's his name? I can't remember. I'll come back to that in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly have no idea where this is going.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm imagining something is going to happen because they've said that this show is going to link in the most to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
It kind of has so far with all explaining the timelines and stuff.
Except for we don't know if the stuff that they're telling us is true at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've like said that like they don't actually close multiverses or they don't close like alternate timelines. They just like push it down the road essentially.
Yeah.
Because where they are is like an alternate end of time thing. So I really don't know.
So who do you think is in that house at the very end? The palace.
I really don't know.
You have
Do
to
you
take
think
a guess.
another Loki?
Okay.
Like another Loki that we haven't seen yet?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've heard there's that's what I think. I think it's another Loki. I have no idea. Like I just feel like everything's been leading to that.
Yeah.
They at first I thought they were going to introduce King the Conqueror, which I think they have. They've introduced Easter eggs that he exists.
Right.
But I don't think that it's going to be him. I don't think it's going to be someone that big. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's going to be
also
an
heard
unknown.
Mephisto.
No, I definitely don't think it's Mephisto.
Yeah, that's more of a Doctor Strange character, right?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a
Witch.
Doctor Strange. I mean, like famously, it's in House of M, the Scarlet Witch story, and that's why
Right.
the Mephisto memes were very real during that point. So yeah, I definitely don't think Mephisto.
Those are the other two. The most realistic, I think, is another Loki, and then the other two that I've heard rumored are Mephisto and Kang.
King. I mean, King would be interesting if they ended up throwing King in this one as an Easter egg.
Yeah.
I don't know, Marissa. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's probably an unknown character of some kind.
You think they're going to bring in a new person?
Yeah.
Okay. Be a good time to do it. It's
Thanos.
been leading up to something. Yeah, they might be introducing the new bad guy for the Avengers and all. Who knows? Because Kang is kind of he's more of a Thanos-esque villain, right?
Yeah, King is a top tier.
That's what's holding me back
Villain.
from thinking it's King. Is I just don't feel like they're going to introduce.
I mean, I think if they introduce King, it's going to be like an Easter egg post-credit scene.
Yeah, it's going to be like
Something like that.
Just yeah.
Yeah,
not-
but like
nothing-
Like who's the guy who's actually visibly pulling the puppet strings right now? I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. I read somewhere, because King is supposed to be Reed Richards' relative, right?
Yeah.
I read somewhere that that character worked at the TVA or worked like at some point in their life. And so I wonder if like there'll be a post-credit scene where new guy shows up to work and it's Kang.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. That's kind of my prediction for a Kang reveal if there is one. But I am hoping for Kang. I'm not going to lie, but I think it's going to be another Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and we're going to get a kiss.
We'll definitely get that. 100%.
Yeah.
But they've also said that Loki is going to be multiple seasons. So,
right.
Definitely, I think we definitely should expect a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Maybe even a literal cliffhanger. That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. I do think that the next season is going to be a lot more TVA centered. Well, this has been TVA centered, but I think it's going to go back to the TVA because Mobius is like, I'm going to go raise hell at the TVA.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to get, that's going to be the sequel of the series.
Yeah. Well,
but I think they're going to lead into the next Marvel stuff.
Yeah. All I know is that next week we're going to be dissecting that finale. We're going to go over it frontward, backward, side to side, and diagonally.
Like a frog. We're going to dissect it like a frog.
Dissect it like a Thor frog.
Yep.
And I'm super excited. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Well, cool. Yeah, that was a good episode. So the next episode, we did not do a Monday episode, and so we're just going to say we're compensating for that by letting this one go
a little longer.
Yeah. And next episode, we're going to have Marissa back. This is going to be our Monday episode.
Yeah.
Where we talk about whatever we want. We're going to start narrowing those down to single topics to just because we feel like it's a good move. My dog's growling.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about...
we're going to be talking about the Mistborn trilogy.
Yes.
We've kind of been talking about that on and off for a little bit now. But not only did I just recently finish the trilogy, but Marissa also finished the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly did. I have no shelf control.
And
no
we're
shelf control.
We're going to be talking about our feelings, the ending, and the feelings of the ending, characters that we love and lost, characters that we lost because we loved.
Yes.
Characters that we... Anyways.
Characters that we didn't know we loved until we thought that they got decapitated, and then it turned out that we did love them. Right. Because we thought we lost them. I'm talking about you, Spook.
Spook. My boy.
You're my boy, Spook.
Aaron, I just started reading Elantris.
Oh, me too.
Nice. I'm like 200 pages in or so.
Oh, yeah, you're way ahead of me then.
Oh, okay.
She's cruising.
I had a slow week last week.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of reading time.
Once she got started with Mistborn and like really got the ball rolling, she was cruising through those, and then she got down. She's like, "What's next?" I was like, "Well, I would recommend Warbreaker or Elantris," and then she chose Elantris. All right, so yeah, so next week we'll have Marissa on for Mistborn recap / review / discussion /
It's just gonna be a big discussion.
All the above. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
it's gonna be 16 hours long. So
it's gonna be longer to listen to us talk about Mistborn than it would be to just go read all of Mistborn. That's how long it's gonna be.
And you probably won't even know what's going on after you listen to us.
By the way, have you seen that the Moderately Interesting podcast has a YouTube channel?
It does?
What?
And Mitch is going to spend all of Saturday to get everything updated because he doesn't have to go work at a wedding.
And if you haven't heard already, one of our episodes on the Moderately Interesting podcast YouTube channel is our fan cast for Mistborn.
Yeah, and it has a bunch of views.
Oh, nice.
Relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking, of course.
It has 54 views.
54. Anyways, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Subscribe! If you haven't already, go ahead and leave a rating review for us.
Mm-hmm.
It greatly helps us out. It makes us feel special.
It does.
We have every single review individually framed at our headquarters.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yep, we do. That's
do.
true. That is a
that
fact.
is a fact of life right there.
Uh-huh. And we're happy to,
You're happy to waste the paper.
Uh-huh.
And share it with your friends and family. Play it for your dog. Play it for your grandma. Play it for your friend who you have hostage right now while you're doing a road trip. Get them hooked.
Yep. And I think I said this last time. Print out some flyers with our logo on it and post them on the telephone poles, because that's the most efficient way to do anything.
Knock on the doors at your local dorm and just hand them out.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, we're just asking you to market for us because we don't have the budget for marketing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll pay you in laughs, giggles, and
Stanley Nichols.
Sammy Nichols.
Stanley Nichols, not
Stanley Nichols. Sorry.
Yeah.
I totally thought you said Sammy. I was like,
Sammy Nichols.
Sammy Nichols.
What the hell is a Stanley Nichols?
Stanley Nichols.
Stanley Nichols.
Which, how does a Stanley Nickel transfer to a Shrewbuck?
The same as leprechauns to unicorns.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll end on that, I guess.
And on that note, I've been Aaron.
And I've been Mitch.
And I've been Marissa.
This has been the Moderately Interesting Podcast. Make sure to tip your lifeguards. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
Peace.
Out.